Interesting side note here, after I made this video I did a little more shooting, see if I couldn't improve my grouping a little bit. I had two cartridges that failed, the primers failed to fire. And this concerns me, and I might speak to you guys that have more experience as far as gunsmithing with me. Originally, Granddad bought this 721 Remington for hunting. And he was hunting up in a place called Mount Emily in eastern Oregon, and 7 bull elk walked by. It was cold, bitter cold, like 18 below zero. Walked by, and he pulled the trigger on each one of those. There was a couple 5 points and some spikes. And the firing pin didn't strike the primers hard enough to ignite the cartridge. And so when he got back, he was really unhappy about that. He got back, he took it apart, and took it to a gunsmith, and they looked it over and found out that the firing pin happened to be dragging on the inside of the bolt. So, and these Remingtons, you can see here that the firing pin comes out the center there, and it moves out and it strikes that primer right there. And that was dragging and not hitting the primer with enough force. And so he had that all filed down and reworked it and put it in the deep freeze and tried it and tried it and tried it and never had that problem again. But it so rattled him that he never trusted the gun and he wouldn't hunt with it anymore. And that's when he went and bought his 7mm, 700 Remington. So yes, these cartridges here are really old. You can see that there's some corrosion on them, and I was just using them for target. This one here in particular has got corrosion in the primer, you can see. This one not. But the primer, I struck the primer on both of these and neither one of them fired off. And I actually tried them 3 different times. I reworked the bolt and hit them. I hit those 3, struck those 3 times, and they still wouldn't go off, so I just disregarded them. That makes me nervous about this gun, because how do you know? Is it the bad primer, or is it is the firing pin not striking? And I'm not the most experienced guys with these, and I don't shoot daily all the time, but it sounded to me that the firing pin struck pretty soft. It wasn't that real hard snap that you typically get. But, you know, usually the cartridge goes off, so you're not really accustomed to hearing that. But that does concern me. If it had been one, especially this one here with all of the corrosion around the primer, might have been okay. But this one right here, you know, that doesn't look like anything's wrong with it. 2 of them failing, and the reason why is you might say, well, yeah, look how hard that firing pin dented it. I hit that 3 times with the firing pin. That's why it's so dented, and still it wouldn't go off. So I'd like to know. That concerns me a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't take this on a hunting trip of a lifetime with that happening. And how do you know when it's going to happen again? How do you know it's not going to happen to you when a bear or a cougar is charging you? I mean, can you think of anything more horrible? How do you get that out of your head when the thing misfires? So those of you who are gunsmiths, let me know what you think about that, and maybe you have a solution. I don't know, but it's a concern. Field testing the accuracy of the modified 721 on the top left. You can click on that. That'll take you to the video. And on the top right, kind of a detailed breakdown of what was done to this rifle and a little bit of history behind it. So if you enjoy that type of thing, you can click on those videos, and there you go. So appreciate you watching, and if you have a moment, click the thumbs up. We appreciate that as well, and we'll see you guys in the next video.